The Outback, the last true wilderness of the modern world. A land so vast it swallows entire countries whole, yet so empty that a person can vanish for days without another soul knowing. Beneath the red dust, a snake curls in its burrow, carrying enough venom in a single bite to kill 100 grown men. In the murky rivers, a creature twice as old as the dinosaurs waits motionless, invisible until the moment it strikes. In the dark corners of suburban gardens, a spider the size of a thumb hides in wait, its fangs strong enough to pierce a shoe. And in the warm coastal waters, something almost invisible drifts just beneath the surface, capable of stopping a human heart in minutes. This is the Australian Outback. And today, we are searching for the single most dangerous creature that calls it home. When people picture the Australian Outback, they often imagine endless red deserts, cracked earth, and a heat that never seems to break. But to understand why this land produces so many of the world's deadliest creatures, we first need to understand its scale and its extremes. The Outback is not a single place, but a vast interior stretching across nearly 3 million square miles, covering roughly 70% of the entire Australian continent. It spans deserts, dry grasslands, ancient mountain ranges, and tropical floodplains in the far north. Despite this enormous size, fewer than 100,000 people live scattered across the entire region, making it one of the most sparsely populated places on Earth. The climate here is a study in extremes. Daytime temperatures can soar past 120 degrees Fahrenheit, only for the same ground to drop below freezing once the sun sets. Rain is rare and unpredictable, sometimes absent for years at a time, then arriving all at once in violent, landscape-altering floods. It is precisely this brutal unpredictability that has shaped the Outback's wildlife into some of the most specialized and lethal creatures on the planet. When water and food appear only in short, violent bursts, evolution rewards whatever can kill fastest and most efficiently. And so, across millions of years, the Outback became a proving ground for venom, ambush, and raw predatory power. It is here, in this unforgiving land, that our search for the deadliest creature begins. Deep in the semi-arid floodplains of Central Australia, where the Cooper Creek and Diamantina River braid across cracked clay soil, lives a snake so venomous it has earned a title no other creature on Earth can claim. The inland taipan, sometimes called the fierce snake. Its venom is, quite simply, the most toxic of any land snake ever measured. A single bite delivers enough neurotoxin to kill an estimated 100 adult humans, or, in laboratory terms, 250,000 mice. The venom is a cocktail of neurotoxins, myotoxins, and coagulants, engineered by evolution for one purpose: to drop a mammal in its tracks before it can escape or retaliate. The inland taipan hunts with terrifying precision. Cornering rodents inside their own burrows, it strikes multiple times within a fraction of a second. Then, unlike many snakes that bite and retreat, it holds on, allowing its fast-acting venom to do the work immediately. Speed, in this case, matters more than safety. And yet, here is the twist that surprises almost everyone who learns about this snake. Despite holding the record for the most toxic venom on the planet, the inland taipan has never been recorded killing a human being. Not once in the entire history of scientific observation. The reason lies in its behavior and its home. The inland taipan lives in one of the most remote corners of the Outback, far from towns, roads, or hikers. It is also remarkably shy, choosing to flee rather than fight whenever it senses a human nearby. The handful of recorded bites in history have all happened to scientists and snake handlers working directly with the species, and every one of them survived thanks to antivenom. So the most venomous snake alive turns out to be, in practice, one of the least dangerous to humans. But its relatives, the eastern and coastal brown snakes, share the same family and a similar venom profile. And unlike the inland taipan, they thrive close to farms, backyards, and roadsides across the entire eastern half of the continent. It is this lesser-known cousin, not the record holder, that actually accounts for most snakebite deaths in Australia today. If venom is one weapon the Outback has perfected, brute force is another. And nothing embodies raw predatory power here more than the creature wading in the rivers of the tropical north. The saltwater crocodile, or as Australians simply call it, the salty, is the largest living reptile on Earth. Adult males can grow beyond 20 feet in length and weigh over a ton, wielding a bite force so powerful it can crush bone as easily as a human might crush a dry twig. Unlike the ambush and retreat style of many predators, the saltwater crocodile is a master of patience. It can hold its breath for up to 8 hours at a time, lying motionless just beneath the murky surface of a river, completely invisible until the moment its prey wanders too close to the water's edge. Then, in a fraction of a second, it explodes from the water, clamps its jaws shut, and begins the infamous death roll, spinning its entire body to disorient and drown its victim. Scientific studies have found something unsettling about this species. Compared to other crocodilians around the world, saltwater crocodiles display uniquely aggressive behavior, including agitated tail twitching followed by sudden lunging strikes, a trait rarely seen in more socially tolerant crocodile species. Researchers believe this hardwired aggression evolved to help them dominate territory and outcompete rivals for the largest, most productive hunting grounds. Their diet reflects this dominance. Juvenile crocodiles start small, hunting insects, crabs, and fish. But as they grow, so does their ambition. Adult salties have been documented preying on wallabies, wild boar, kangaroos, and even, on rare occasions, sharks that wander too close to river mouths. Today, Australia records 1 to 2 fatal crocodile attacks on humans each year, a number that has actually been rising over the past few decades. This is not because the crocodiles have grown bolder, but because of a conservation success story. After being hunted to near extinction for their skins in the mid-20th century, saltwater crocodiles were granted full legal protection beginning in the 1970s. Their population has since rebounded dramatically, with an estimated 100,000 crocodiles now living in the Northern Territory alone. More crocodiles inevitably means more encounters, and more encounters mean more danger for anyone careless enough to swim, fish, or camp near an unmarked riverbank. If the crocodile represents danger in the open, the next creature on our list represents danger hiding in plain sight, sometimes inside a person's own home. The Sydney funnel web spider does not look like it belongs in a nightmare. Roughly the size of a large coin, dark and glossy, it spends most of its life hidden inside burrows lined with silk, waiting for insects and small prey to wander past. But provoke one, and you meet one of the only spiders on Earth capable of killing a healthy adult human within hours. Unusually for the animal kingdom, it is the male funnel web that poses the greater threat, its venom up to 6 times more potent than the female's. Scientists believe this evolved because males must leave the safety of their burrows to search for mates, wandering into gardens, shoes, and swimming pools across the Sydney Basin, placing them in far more frequent contact with humans. When a funnel web bites, it does not deliver a single dose and retreat. Its large fangs, strong enough to pierce fingernails and even soft leather, can strike repeatedly in a single attack, injecting venom with every hit. The toxin attacks the human nervous system directly, and in untreated cases, death can occur in as little as 15 minutes, though on average it once took around 3 hours before help arrived too late. Before 1981, a funnel web bite was a genuine death sentence, with 13 confirmed fatalities on record. Then came one of Australia's most remarkable medical breakthroughs. Researchers developed an antivenom by carefully milking venom from live spiders and using it to produce antibodies. Since it entered use, deaths from funnel web bites have dropped to almost 0, with only a single fatality recorded in the decades since, and that case was linked to a serious delay in treatment. It is a strange kind of victory. One of the most lethal spiders on the planet still lives by the millions across eastern Australia, biting dozens of people every year. But thanks to science, a creature that once guaranteed death now rarely succeeds in taking a life at all. Not every deadly creature in this story needs fangs or venom glands built for killing prey. Deep in the tropical rainforests of far north Queensland lives Australia's largest native snake, and it kills using nothing but muscle. The scrub python, also known as the amethystine python for the faint, gemstone-like sheen across its scales, can grow past 16 feet in length, with unconfirmed reports of individuals reaching over 25 feet. Along its jaw sit heat-sensing pits, biological infrared sensors that allow it to detect the faint body warmth of prey even in complete darkness. Hunting under cover of night, the scrub python waits in near total stillness for hours, sometimes coiled silently in a tree branch or along the forest floor. When a possum, a fruit bat, or even a young wallaby passes within striking range, the python lunges, sinks its rows of backward curving teeth into the prey to secure it, then wraps its powerful body around its victim in tightening coils. Each exhale from the prey allows the python to tighten further until circulation stops and the heart gives out. There is no venom involved at all, only patience and overwhelming physical strength. Despite its intimidating size, the scrub python poses very little threat to humans. It is naturally shy, preferring to retreat rather than confront anything too large to be considered prey. Most encounters happen not in the deep forest, but in the strangest of places: garages, kitchen counters, and even, in one widely reported case, tucked inside the wing assembly of a parked aircraft near Cairns Airport. The scrub python is a reminder that in the outback, size and strength do not always translate into danger for humans. Sometimes, the deadliest traits are reserved entirely for the animal kingdom's own food chain. Not every dangerous animal in the outback needs venom or brute strength. Sometimes, all it takes is intelligence, coordination, and a pack. The dingo, Australia's iconic wild dog, has roamed the continent for thousands of years, evolving into a highly capable pack hunter, perfectly adapted to survive across desert, scrubland, and coastline alike. Lean, alert, and remarkably intelligent, dingoes typically avoid humans entirely, relying instead on cooperative hunting to bring down prey many times their own size, including kangaroos and wallabies. But on certain isolated stretches of coastline, most famously the sand dunes of a World Heritage-listed island off the coast of Queensland, dingoes have grown unusually bold. Decades of tourists feeding them, sometimes deliberately for a photograph, gradually eroded their natural wariness of people. Rangers describe the shift bluntly. Wary animals that once fled from humans have, in some cases, come to see them as a source of food, or even as prey. The results can be terrifying. Visitors have been chased across beaches, mauled while jogging, and in one especially harrowing incident, a small child was dragged by the leg down a sand dune before his father managed to pull him free. Attacks tend to follow the same unsettling pattern: a pack singling out someone who is alone, running, or a child, then using coordinated chase tactics nearly identical to how dingoes bring down large prey in the wild. The most tragic case in the country's memory involves an infant taken from a campsite in the 1980s, an event that shocked the nation and became the center of one of Australia's most infamous legal controversies, as the child's parents were wrongly accused and convicted before evidence finally confirmed a dingo had been responsible all along. Today, wildlife authorities walk a careful line, protecting a native species central to the ecosystem and to Aboriginal culture, while managing populations that have, in specific tourist-heavy locations, lost their fear of people entirely. It is a stark reminder that even a familiar dog-like animal can become genuinely dangerous once its natural relationship with humans breaks down. We have covered venom that can kill 100 men, jaws that can crush bone, fangs that strike faster than the eye can follow, coils strong enough to stop a heart, and pack hunters intelligent enough to single out the weakest target. And yet, when Australian researchers finally sat down with 2 decades of official coroner data, the results overturned almost everything most people assume about danger in the outback. According to the National Coronial Information System, tracking 2 full decades of records from 2001 to 2021, animal-related deaths in Australia averaged only around 34 per year, and the creatures responsible were almost never the ones featured in documentaries and nightmares. Horses top the list, responsible for the largest share of animal-related deaths, mostly through falls and being kicked or crushed. Cattle follow closely behind, often connected to handling accidents and road collisions. Dogs come next, largely through bites and falls. Only in 4th place do we finally find a native Australian species at all, kangaroos, and every single one of those deaths came from vehicle collisions rather than direct attacks. Meanwhile, snake bites, despite Australia's reputation for owning 9 of the 10 most venomous snakes on the planet, account for only a small fraction of that total. Spider bites, remarkably, cause 0 confirmed deaths across the entire 20-year study, a direct result of effective antivenom and modern emergency care. So why does the myth persist so powerfully? Because rare, dramatic, and visually terrifying deaths dominate our imagination far more than the quiet, statistically common ones. A crocodile attack makes international headlines. A person falling from a horse rarely does, even though it happens far more often. Fear, it turns out, has very little to do with actual risk. This single fact reframes everything about the Outback's reputation. The animals people fear the most are, in practice, some of the least likely to ever cause them harm. And the ones that do cause the most harm are the very same animals millions of people interact with peacefully every single day. But statistics only tell us how often something happens. They do not tell us what happens when the worst case actually occurs. And for that question, we have to look back to the water, to a creature so small it can be mistaken for nothing more than a fleck of plastic drifting on the tide. Along the tropical coastline of northern Australia lives the box jellyfish, considered by many marine biologists to be the most venomous marine animal on the planet. Its body is nearly transparent, roughly the size of a basketball, trailing up to 60 tentacles that can stretch over 10 feet, each one lined with millions of microscopic, harpoon-like stinging cells. A single brush against these tentacles can deliver enough venom to stop a human heart in under 5 minutes. The toxin attacks skin cells, nerve endings, and heart muscle almost simultaneously, causing some victims to lose consciousness before they can even swim back to shore. Since official records began in 1883, box jellyfish stings have caused close to 70 confirmed deaths across Australia, more than any other single venomous animal in the country's history. Even smaller, and in some ways even stranger, is a relative found in the same waters, the irukandji jellyfish, a creature often no larger than a fingernail. Its sting can initially feel almost painless, but within 20 to 30 minutes, victims are overtaken by irukandji syndrome, a devastating combination of crushing back pain, uncontrollable vomiting, skyrocketing blood pressure, and, in the words of researchers who study it directly, an overwhelming and specific feeling of impending doom. Despite their small size, both species force coastal communities across Queensland and the Northern Territory to close beaches entirely during what locals call stinger season, when warm currents and calm seas push these creatures toward shore in unpredictable numbers. So we return to the question we started with. What is truly the most dangerous creature in the Australian outback? By raw venom potency, the answer is the inland taipan, a snake so lethal in theory that it could kill 100 people with one bite, yet so reclusive that it has never killed anyone at all. By sheer physical power, it is the saltwater crocodile, an ambush predator capable of crushing bone that still only claims 1 or 2 lives each year. By historical death toll, the box jellyfish holds the grim record among venomous animals, with nearly 70 confirmed deaths since the 19th century. And by pure statistical likelihood, the answer is neither venomous nor a predator at all, but the humble horse, an animal most people would never think to fear. Perhaps the real lesson the Outback teaches is that danger and fear rarely line up the way we expect. The creatures that inspire the most terror are often the ones we are least likely to ever encounter, while the quiet, familiar risks around us go almost entirely unnoticed. The Australian outback remains one of the last places on Earth where nature still holds the upper hand, where evolution has produced some of the most extraordinary survival tools ever recorded. Venom potent enough to rewrite toxicology textbooks, jaws strong enough to end an argument in an instant, and patience precise enough to wait motionless for hours without a single wasted movement. Which of these creatures surprised you the most? Leave a comment below to join the discussion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to continue exploring Earth's most extraordinary and dangerous corners with us.